What are the four steps that we were required to execute? The first step, we had to go into generate.py and add code to read and parse and insert Rust test cases into lib.rs. So these are the two methods that we've written. Pass all test cases from bidi character test and bidi test and insert them into lib.rs. But first we delete all the automatically generate test cases in the previous run. This is to avoid creating copies. These are the two files which contain those um, methods. Basically, what we do is read the test cases for each, parse them into the required assert Rust test case format, and in the last step, we write it to lib.rs. As you can see, here are those automatically generated test cases. In all, there are about 100,000 or more test cases that have been added. Hence, this couldn't have been done manually. The next step is implement the missing step L1. So here is that function. In this step, what we do is parse the input text for white spaces. And for each of these white spaces, we break the input text into multiple paragraphs. And here is the implementation of that. The next step is we have to implement the step N0. Now, since this was a pretty long code, we broke it into a different rest file. For this, what we basically do is find bracket pairs, that is, pass the input text, find paired brackets. For each of the paired brackets, we try to try to find codes for the bracket pairs. Now, what are codes? Codes are nothing but directions for the brackets. For example, English characters have the direction of left to right. Hebrew characters have a direction of right to left. So it's basically the visual ordering on the screen inside the browser. So brackets as such don't have a particular direction, but their direction will be decided based on the content inside and outside them. So this is basically that step of the algorithm. So that was a step N0. And the last step, we had to resolve conformance issues with the steps W1 to W7. We've done that in the resolve weak function. Here are the steps W1 to W7. These basically try to set some sort of direction for weak characters. Now, weak characters don't have their own direction, so again, their direction will be set based on the surrounding characters, the strong ones. And the thing is that each of these steps have to be implemented independent of each other. Now, since the implementation of it was doing it in one pass, that is one scan, this was causing issues because the results of the next step were being modified by the previous step, which shouldn't happen because they're mutually exclusive steps. So what we've done here is we've written separate variables here, and each of these variables are modified by each of the steps. So what this does is uh, maintains that independence between the two steps. So that was the fourth step.